The word is Baroque, Baroque. The origin of the word is Barroco. There's some dispute, but generally assumed that it comes from the word Portuguese Barroco, which was used to label a misshapen pearl or a pearl with irregular form. And that explains a lot what Barroco is about. It's not about symmetry. It's not about straight lines. It's about the folds. It's about capturing movement. The word Baroque today, we usually use it with a derogative sense. So say something is excessively complicated, too ornamented, or too complex. Sometimes you use it as a synonym of Byzantine, for instance, so excessively complicated. But it wasn't so in the beginning. I mean, it has been used as a pejorative term, but it's also been used with a very positive term, and it applies to a specific period in time, 17th century and midway through the 18th century. So that's where Baroque was at its highest. It irradiated from Rome, and it's closely associated with the Counter-Reformation movement. It has several facets. It's used in painting, and you have, for instance, Caravaggio, the very famous Italian painter, Rubens, for instance, in architecture, and even in literature, very, very strong components. It's always manifested by a certain degree of complexity. It has a focus on movement and on intensity, dramatic intensity. So a lot of it is a fight for expression, fight for movement, for a dramatic intensity, kind of involving you emotionally in the work. And you see that in the works. I mean, look at the Palace of Versailles in France and how it's a complete work of art, from the gardens to the decor to the architecture. So it's about a sense of magnificence. The derogative sense that we now apply to Baroque comes from this notion that it is somehow Renaissance gone wrong. So it's about excess, and it kind of took the values of Renaissance and it deformed them. A lot of thinkers in the 20th century mostly has seen the eccentricity that is part of the Baroque as a very positive thing. The Baroque is interesting because it can shift the borders of what you deem to be either a work of art or either to be a world order or a world view. And some people have argued that there is a link between Baroque and postmodernism. This idea that the work of art isn't finished. This kind of ironic twist on things. The Baroque is seen to have an intellectual side. It's humorous. And this is very much what characterizes also the postmodernist age. There is a definite contribution of the Baroque there. So Baroque implies always a certain decentering and a certain eccentricity, because the Baroque was firstly seen as a way of expressing God, or of allowing for a communication between the illiterate and God, because you didn't need to read. I mean, you were just awed by the sheer wonder of the work of art. But there is this sense that there is no center to the Baroque. It's more about the intensity, it's more about the movement, it's more about giving you different perspectives and shifting perspectives than about giving you a clear-cut, defined notion of what things are. Things don't have to be perfect to be beautiful. They don't have to be finished to be used. They don't have to be finished to be admired. Maybe the fact that they are not finished, like the misshapen pearl, that they are not squared, it escapes the predictability of the form. That's why it makes Baroque so interesting, and that's why it was seen derogatively by those who advocated a more sober and rational approach to art, more measured approach to art. It gives you, in a sense, freedom.